Hello everyone and welcome to Brother Earth Healing. I'm very happy to have you today as we share some messages of support and for this time for the month of July going into July, a little bit of a forecast. This video is going to be for our water signs and for kind of tuning into, tapping into water energy, and we all contain this energy within us, in our chart, and around us, and with people that we interact with. So if you're called to come here, then you are in the right place. I do read intuitively, so just, take whatever is resonating, and whatever doesn't is, just let it kind of go on, or you can interpret it however you feel like it resonates. And yeah, I'm just very happy to have you guys. This is our second month on YouTube. Thank you guys for the support in starting this channel, particularly last month, our first month was really special and a lot of beautiful things were coming out. I do want to mention particularly the end of the month reading for the fire signs. Tapping into fire energy was really potent, and I would really recommend everybody watch that because a lot of really important stuff came through. I found myself rewatching it to get it, more than once for sure. But yeah, with that said, also want to, we're going to go into it, but I was going to also share that I do have an Instagram account. It's under the same name, just Brother Earth Healing, pretty simple. And you can definitely hit me up on there to say hi, or if you're interested in doing work privately. I also left my email down in the description too. Or for collaborations or anything like that. Yeah, it's been nice to chat with a few of you that have reached out, and yeah, I'm looking forward to doing much more of that and connecting with more folks here on YouTube as well. Yeah, so we're just going to start how we start, taking a few breaths together to ease into the space, and then offering a little bit of thanks and praise, gratitude, and then we'll get into it. So taking a couple nice, big, deep breaths to bring us back here, bring us back to ourselves, our body, bringing us back into the space we're in. We'll just gently ask ourselves, our thoughts, our emotions, to just settle, coming to a place of ease, and just ask everything that's preoccupying us in our space, in our energy, and just settle down just for a little while, allowing ourselves to open up to receive what we need to receive today. I'm also kind of sending some energy when I do this, and also helping with that container for all of us as well. So feel free to ease into this and open up so you can receive what's coming. So I'd like to offer big thanks and gratitude and praise our beloved source and spirit, beloved teachers, guides, angels, and guardians. Thank you so much for supporting us, for leading us, protecting us, and for all the love. And I'd like to ask for support in offering channeling messages clearly for the healing and wisdom and love to come through, to offer this to those watching, those tuning in, particularly looking at what's coming in for us this month around our water signs and around the water energy in us and around us. Yeah, thank you. Cool. So I did sit for quite a while. I was feeling kind of tired while I was sitting right now. But some really cool stuff came through. Some really, really beautiful images kind of came up. I saw like, I was seeing like a lot of like beaches and like islands, like tropical islands. And also I was seeing like some resort places like empty, like completely empty. And I was seeing like, let me see. We're gonna kind of get into it, but let me remember what else was coming through real quick. It was kind of vague. Yeah, okay, so I was feeling a lot of like joy, like a lot of people are getting out right now and going to the beach and like really, yeah, feeling like very adventurous. Feeling really good, like really happy that the sun's out and it's warm out, it's hot. And really like getting a lot from being in those environments, like at the beach and in the water, particularly like actually like in water. And like that's a really healing thing for us right now. So that's like a really beautiful way of like truly being like immersed, like submerged in nature, right? Like being in a huge body of water, you know, like, yeah. So there's some encouragement to like go out a little bit and explore that. Obviously in a safe way, right? So we do want to be safe with COVID. Okay, this is really interesting what's coming out already. It's funny, this actually came out beach, right? It was actually in the reverse here. A little Three of Wands. There was one other thing that came through. What was it? It's not coming right now, but it will come. Okay. So let's do an overall. I think this is speaking to an overall sense right here. And I'm actually feeling two groups. That's actually what came through. Is like, okay, we're going to do two groups today before I even started. Right when I sat down, I was like, okay, two groups. All right, here we go. Okay, so let's start with this group here. Yeah, so this is our Three of Wands group, okay? Upside down, actually. Oh, that's really interesting. So what was right under it, which I felt really drawn to, was a Two of Cups here. Okay. I feel like there's many of us who, oh, that's funny. This is actually what was, oh, this is really funny. This is what was the other thing that came up. So I really felt like this was, to me, speaking like somebody was waiting on something and really didn't have a lot of confidence about it, right? This would normally mean like, you know, yeah. Or like had maybe also like set a lot of intentions or had attempted to set a lot of things in motion or something particular in motion, actually is what I'm getting, something particular in motion. And that wasn't feeling like, you know, very confident about that really, okay? And so it's funny, after I showed it that time, I put it down, it was upright. You know, I actually just didn't put it down on the deck, it was right next to the Two of Cups. And so, yeah, I'm feeling like there's some kind of connection. I'm feeling for most people, it's not a romantic connection. It's more of like a, like, yeah, like soul sister, soul brother kind of thing. however that resonates, right? Yeah, like a really beautiful connection here, a really nurturing connection taking place. And for others, I definitely feel it is kind of more romantic. So that could go however it resonates. So let's leave that there for now. I want to come down. We have the devil. Okay. First thing I actually heard was actually some success in recognizing negative patterning and habits, and that there's a very real doing away of that. Okay. And moving past that. That's wonderful. Yeah. I'm feeling like somebody's overcoming depression, or somebody's overcoming a period of being quite upset. One of the other things that came through was that, as I'm recalling, is that I feel a lot of us are up in our mind right now. Like a lot of water signs are we are a bit uncharacteristically up in the mind space, a little bit more than we are centered in the heart and our emotions. And are feeling like a little bit like, why am I not as resilient as I have been in the past, right? And what's coming through is, one, that this is a very different situation. It's not something that has been tackled before in this kind of way, so there's a more steep learning curve. And the other thing that I'm getting is that, why is this so? Like, why this is very uncharacteristic of me. Is that what the collective is experiencing is quite intense, and then that's playing a part also, is the other part of that. Okay, do not worry too much. That's great. Okay, so there's an overview of the first group, and for our second group here, oh, interesting. Let me tap into this a little bit more, but I feel like there's some kind of overlap actually with the groups. It's like kind of like a Venn diagram. I kind of saw like a Venn diagram, like, yeah, uncharacteristic, feeling like it is difficult to tap into your intuition right now somehow. Kind of like, yeah, up in the mind for sure is what I'm feeling. Okay. Yeah, unlike yourself. Okay. Let me see if there's some clarity here. We have judgment underneath that. Oh, wow, 2 major arcana. Sounds like it feels like somebody's going, and under that is justice in reverse. Interesting. Yeah, it certainly feels like somebody is going through quite a change, quite an intense period right now in this second group, or however that resonates, however that overlaps. Because there very well could be overlapping things for certain people on one side, and you know what I mean? So I feel like there's a decision to be made, there's a decision to be made of what path you really want to go on. Big change. It's a little bit, yeah, it feels like we've been very hesitant, and it's taken a long time to make this decision, or to make a move in the direction. I feel like what's going on is that there's confusion about that, about what is the best or the right direction for me. I'm getting like a sense of urgency, like there's an important there's an importance on really making a decision right now. Yeah, that there's been a little bit too much time has passed is what I'm feeling. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Okay. I feel like there's a situation where, so I have Knight of Pentacles. Okay, and then we had the Ten of Pentacles, which is in the reverse. Kind of feeling like I want to pop that right side up, actually. I kind of feel like reading it right side up. Okay. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like someone's quite ready to move. Yeah, like ready to move, ready to... Okay, I think I'm getting different things. I'm getting one thing is coming through is like big plans, big offerings, big charitable offerings, and not necessarily monetarily, but that certainly could be, as this is Pentacles, and it was like Ten of Pentacles right under it too. So I feel for someone, actually, there is, yeah, a big charitable thing, and there's kind of a decision to be made about what to do, and it might be feeding into what we just talked, what I just read too for this group. It's like that big decision could very well be like, I don't know what to donate to that would be good, that's not harmful and doing the most good, you know. And I do see that there's wealth in the family, or there's, you know, that Ten of Pentacles is definitely like, you know. And I think for others that where it's not material, there's a really big offering of the heart or something really valuable that could really help people. That's not necessarily monetary. Yeah, and I feel like it's very genuine, very humble, you know, very, but also very powerful and potent what that offering is. And that's great. Yeah, I mean, that's a really good place to be in terms of like, you know, having to make a decision about something, you know. Yeah. So I guess let's go a little bit deeper and let's see what's going on here. Oh, the other thing is that for that group too, what I was feeling is like there's some advice coming through about if there is big monetary offerings or charity, and also for if it's not monetary, like supporting smaller organizations or even just like individual people in what they are doing that you find is really needed right now. Yeah. And I think that we should be doing that in a very general way anyway, you know. I mean, I know that I personally have like a lot of friends that do some amazing work in this field, doing intuitive and healing work, as well as like music and art, visual art, and dance and all, you know, the arts in general, and in so many different areas, you know, that are really needed and helpful, environmental issues and, you know, racial equality and all kinds of things. Like I know so many people, and something that I realized recently was like, am I supporting those people? Like, am I supporting my friends that are doing this amazing work? Like, can I do more? And yeah, like, am I supporting them the way I want to support them? And, you know, like really wanting the best for them. And so for me, there's been this switch of like, okay, like let's support our friends, you know, like let's do this. And the people in the community that we meet, that we see is doing very valuable work that's needed. and this is how we raise each other up, right? And, you know, monetary stuff doesn't have to be, you don't have to donate $100 to somebody, or even $50, you know. You can give someone like $5 or $10, you know, and it helps. And, you know, if everybody did that, like, yeah. So practicing our generosity in that way, especially when we do have it in a monetary way, is like really important, I feel right now in this time. And if not, just like helping people, like by yeah, like just, you know, sharing their art around, or like, yeah, like here, like sharing YouTube videos and liking videos, and like, you know, it's super easy, you know, things like that that don't cost us anything and don't take too much time. Or something I've been doing is like finding cool things on my Instagram. Like a really good friend of mine, old friend of mine from high school, actually is like an amazing artist, and he does a lot of like comic work and like things like that, like cartoon work, like political cartoons and stuff like that. So I just like shared it on my story so people can find him, you know, and check out his stuff. So doing things like that are really important right now, and I see a lot of people doing it, so that's great. I think we need a lot more of it, and a lot more people to participate and to do that, and to practice that generosity, right? Yeah. Anything else? I feel like that was good. I think that helped clear some stuff for some of you, but we will certainly go deeper into that. Now, actually, let's do that now. Okay. Let's do that now. And we will take care of our other group, our first group, in a little bit. I'm hearing like Mr. Blue Sky, that song. Okay, here we go. Actually, you know what? I want to have a few less cards, please. It was a little much. There's decisions being made. A lot of generosity offerings. Yeah. Supporting people. Do you have anything else going on here? Any other supportive messages or any other kinds of things going on? Okay. Anything else? Okay, here we go. Okay, I'll take all that. Sweet. Okay, we have ourselves a nice little spread. Okay. Okay, start here. Yeah, it's funny. Wow. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 of these non-court cards, or 3 of the 4 non-court cards are 7s. So we have 3 7s, 7, 7, 7, and we have 4. I've been seeing 7, 7, 7 for like since last weekend, like every day, constantly. Especially yesterday, 7, 7, 2020. And I've been also seeing 747. I'm not exactly sure what the 4 is about, but hopefully we can get that cleared up right now. But this is really interesting. The way this spread is presenting itself. Okay. So I need some clarity about what's going on here. So there's like a natural cycle occurring, although it might not seem like it's very natural or feel very natural. Okay, letting go of a lot of things. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Taking what we can from situations that aren't helping us or serving us anymore. Yeah. That's the name of the game right now. Taking what we can, right? Taking what we can. And not just from situations like that aren't serving us. That might apply to some, right? That are leaving, which came up quite a bit in last month, like people that have left projects and this and that. Like really the reminder, I think, is to remember what you have taken from those experiences that, you know, you're no longer a part of, or, you know, people or groups that you're no longer a part of. And really, like, yeah, really have a recognition of what you've received from those experiences, what they have taught you, and the value, right? And also not to like feel like you, yeah, not to feel guilty, not to feel guilty. Especially if you did handle situations in a good and proper way, and you're confident about that, but you know, to not feel guilty. I think a lot of water signs tend to be picking up on Pisces pretty strongly right now too. Yeah, tend to be really concerned about others and really not wanting to harm others, right? And it's a very beautiful, gentle nature that we have as water signs, people that have heavy water in our chart and stuff. But also like being able to reflect on our own self and recognize what we need, and have we been respected, and you know, and that tends to be neglected often. Okay, so seeing from a more bird's eye view, okay, more objectively. Okay. And I think you know that like something wasn't for you, okay? And I think that at some point there was an illusion of that, like it was difficult to discern that. But I feel like that time has passed, okay? And I think a big lesson that was learned was really about trusting your own intuition and really trusting yourself as an intuitive person that I feel you are, if you resonate with this. And when something feels funny, or when you notice that feeling of, oh, there's some games being played, there are some the illusions that are being put in front of me are very real. You know, it's really truly, there's some illusory kind of thing going on, you know, to distract, or to, you know what I mean, like just like from I think that makes sense. Okay, so realizing when that's happening with more clarity, yeah, and really letting go, and really letting that go and letting that be in the past. Okay, great. Because that situation raises you up to your next, you know, to meet that next road, right? Beautiful, really beautiful. How can I show you this so that you'll see it the way I'm seeing it? Okay, like this. I had both of these guys like this. Okay. This is very interesting. Really, really interesting. Okay, what's going on here? Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm feeling like what's happening for a lot of people, and for me too, this is as much of a reading for me as it is for you guys, trust me. I already resonate a lot with what's coming through. Is that there are, okay, so there's two ways that there are two important pillars, okay, that you want to set up and establish so that, to propel you to your next, to really where you think you want to be, right? That, where you want to be, the image, okay? And these are already like in you, I feel like already two aspects of you, right? I'm feeling like there's not too much to go out and attain, or there's not too much to go out and like obviously learning, continuing to learn, lifelong learning and honing in on our skills, developing our skills, is we should always be trying to do that. But I think what the point is, what's coming through is that you already have what you need to, at the very, very least, get started. I think that most of you have what you need to, most of us have what we need here to, to make some really good headway, as a matter of fact, in whatever it is that we are going towards and whatever it is that we see for ourselves. And I definitely feel like it's a foundation for the future, for sure. It certainly feels that way. And I think what's been overcome, which I was just sharing about, which I was just coming through, was a really, really big step in discerning what you want, which is a beautiful thing. That's great, because that's a very, very hard, long journey, having that clarity. I really get that. Sorry about that. And so I feel like these two main pillars, okay, one of them has to do with really being secure, right? Really having financial stability and security. And that doesn't mean like, you have these ambitions to, live in like a huge house and this and that. Like, I'm feeling for most it's quite modest and, just really wanting to survive and support yourself. And so the other pillar is you want to do that, and I think that for many you've had experiences where that is something where you did have that, or you do have that, but it's just not fulfilling. It's not what you want to be doing truly. And that, I feel like there's been a major shift for a lot of you in terms of understanding and recognizing that isn't what you want. Not in that way is what I'm getting. Not in that way. Okay. And so the other pillar that we're leaning into building is really honing into this, what I feel for many is a relatively new discovery or revelation of the real work you want to be doing, of the and also of the way you want to live your life in a general way and have that reflected in your work, right? I feel like very done, very much done, being offered opportunities that, seem good on the surface, seem like they're heaven sent, but they're just not, they're just not what they're all cracked up to be. And it feels like in some situations there's been some deception, or that's what I'm getting. Okay. And there's this real wanting, I feel, to really have that process occur naturally and really from the heart, from a place of, authenticity and love and care, and growth, and wanting to see your community and yourself, I see us all rising up together, which is really beautiful, which is certainly exactly what's going on with me right now. So this is really cool that I'm tapping into what's going on and channeling that as a message here for you all. And so that really brings me a lot of joy to see that, like, yeah, to see that, like, also happening for many other people. Okay. And I think that for some that you have been successful in doing things in the field that you want, that you feel comfortable in, or that you want to be involved in, and it's not necessarily the field that's changing, it's the way that you're doing it, like what came through just now. Just not in that way, right? Different way, more clean, more pure, really, really, really pure, right? I really feel like there's been a lot burning off, and that's been a hard process. A lot of impurities in your life, in your energy, and whatever. And now now that there's some space, right? There's some space. There's wiggle room. There's this real wanting to fill that with much more purity. I keep getting that. Yeah, really pure and honest and humble and very light and loving. That's really great. I love that. And if I can support in any way, please reach out and let me know. I would absolutely love to support each other, support you, support each other. That's beautiful. Okay, and the tip top of our spread, I had a little pyramid here, so 3 on the bottom and 2 in the middle, and then this final one on top here is I'm feeling another seven of Pentacles. Okay, so this is our 7 in the middle, right? 7, 7, 7 triangle. I actually have a friend who I'm gonna read off her interpretation of some of these angel numbers. So let me read what 777 is from her. Okay. Luck is on your side, babe. You are on the ultimate spiritual path. Keep doing what you're doing, okay? Yeah, okay. I feel like there's a lot of doubt for people right now. Even though in an objective way, if somebody, like for me that I'm reading, right? Like looking from the outside in, I just see a lot of beautiful, like very pure intention, and like, I feel like there's a lack of recognition of the work you've done. There's a lack of recognition of what's actually happening. There's a confusion about what's happening, right? It's funny. It's like what I'm picking up, okay, as I look at this, it's like you are looking right at the fruits of your labor, of your practice, of your, of what you're cultivating. You're looking right at it, and you're still like, dang. Like in one way, a more traditional view of this card would be like, you're looking at it, but like you're kind of refusing it, or you're refusing to pick it when it's ripe or something like that. It's kind of like the self-deprecation kind of thing. But what I'm feeling it more as, what I really feel like what's coming through, is that there's like some kind of like, yeah, something in the mind, like I was saying, like what was coming through earlier. There's something that is like a little bit too stuck in the head, right? To really recognize and see. There's these ideas of what it is that is, of what's going on, these ideas, right? That we need to shed. We need to learn to allow to pass through and see them for what they are, recognize that they're not clear. If they were true, then there would be clarity. When there is truth, there's always clarity. You're like, finally, this, I know this. There's always clarity with truth, right? And there's, almost always confusion when something is coming from a place of ignorance or a wrong perception, something that is misperceived. There's often confusion and anger, So these are ways that our emotions are actually helping to guide us to the truth, right? And the light. we can use our emotions as a gauge, you know, not feeling like we are, you know, a lot of us, you know, generally say I am sad, you know. And I feel like, and I'm gonna put a video up at some point sharing a little bit about that and how we use words, but by actually saying, instead replacing I am sad with I feel sad, we recognize it as a feeling, not something that's us. Like I am not the sadness. The sadness is, it's an emotion, you know, it's something that passes through. And learning to use those emotions to guide us, and like I said, and as a waypoint, right, as a compass, right? I feel like that got to somebody there when I said compass. Okay. And developing a more healthy relationship in that way, you know, and not going to the mind because the emotions are too strong, it seemed too strong, right? I think going into, whoever's really resonating with this and with everybody also, I would really recommend getting into a meditation practice, you know, and whether that's just following your breathing. I think that's the best way just to get into it if you don't already have a practice or know one, or are not resonating with what you're doing right now. Just simply following your breath, focusing on a physical sensation, whether that's the breath coming in your nose, or whether that's the lungs filling up, or whether that's the belly rising and falling. Just a physical sensation, following the breath, noticing when things pass through, not evaluating, not trying to figure things out, just breathing, just being there, being present, being a witness, okay? That is I think that's a really good practice for just getting into the body, allowing the mind to rest, and not be so critical of things that it can't comprehend, frankly, that it can't solve for us, okay? I'm feeling just a really beautiful humility, very humble, and very capable, you know. I'm seeing this person, you know, as a very capable, you know, gardener, somebody who's really capable of really truly, like, you know, doing the work and bearing fruit, really capable of, yeah, like really producing a lot of really good stuff, a lot of really good fruits, you know. I would really love for whoever is resonating with this to reach out to me. That would be awesome. I feel like it'd be a great, yeah, be great to connect and work together, do something like that. That's great. Okay, so, well, we've already been at this for quite a while. I'm going to, I think that a lot of what just came out for that really resonated with both, although I am going to still do another reading. I'll do another small spread for this other group that kind of came out. And it might just be another piece of the puzzle for you, frankly. I just felt like there were two parts that were very clearly wanting to be distinguished, okay? So this was, as if you can remember, this was a Three of Wands group, okay? And it was actually reversed, you know, putting something out there or expecting something, not really feeling like there's too much coming back or too much fruit being born. Okay, and the, yeah, Two of Cups there. Definitely feeling a beautiful connection, like I said earlier. For some it's romantic and for some it's platonic, you know. But really a very, very, very good feeling, like very, very solid, very, very kind and gentle and nurturing. Yeah, and I'm feeling strong friendship as well. Yeah, just really strong brother, sister, 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 brother, brother kind of thing. Okay. And getting over a rough time right now. And I feel like that was a relationship. It was a romantic relationship, getting over a tough romantic relationship. Okay, is there anything else? So maybe this is just like the love side of things right now. Yeah, okay, I think this is the love side of things. Which is funny, because like, as I've been saying in these videos, I tend not to lean towards doing those kinds of readings. But, you know, love is expressed in so many ways, you know. So whatever's coming out right now, let's read it as, if it resonates as something romantic, then take it that way. And if it resonates something that's more between family or friends, then take it that way. Okay, we already have Four of Wands coming out, so very stable. And here, I'll show you before I keep shuffling. Yeah, so very, yeah, beautiful, just adventurous, just like super happy to meet somebody or to get to know somebody or get to know somebody better. You know, for family, I feel like it's really reconnecting and being like, ah, where have you been, man? Like, or where, you know, where have you been? Like, this has been so, like, this is so awesome. So like, to really, to do this again, or to, like, I didn't know, like, you were so into that. Like, you know, I'm so into that. Like, things like that, you know. Beautiful. So we have the Chariot at the bottom of the deck. Okay. Oops, sorry. And we actually have the Empress under that. So for that, I'm picking up a more romantic thing. Like, yeah, it's a lot of, yeah, fast moving to somebody who you feels like truly right for you, like a life partner kind of thing. I feel like there's balance there. I feel like there's not, it's not necessarily rush is the right word, but I feel like there's a real nice, like, oh, like, you know, let's go, like, you know, this is awesome, let's do this. So I'm very happy for whoever that is. Okay. Okay. I feel like for some, or for somebody, or some people, there's a paths will cross, will meet, right? People will meet, somebody will meet, and there's not a real, like, I feel like it's going to be very surprising, or very, like, yeah, like, very, like, neither of them know. But it might very well be a situation where one person is a little bit more gung-ho about really finding, like, a life partner or somebody, or just feels very ready to do that, and maybe feeling ready to have children also. Where and then there's another person, and then the other person in this romantic, this is certainly romantic, the other person is a little bit more sad, like a little bit more upset that they haven't found that person for them yet. I'm not feeling like completely hopeless, like, you know, but definitely a little bummed for sure. And like, definitely not the most confident, but, you know, yeah, but still has this real, like, you know, sense of like, yeah, like, they're there, right? Or something like that is what I feel. But it's just very unsure. I feel this person is intuitive, but isn't trained, or hasn't trained themselves or honed into their stuff. And I feel like that's going to happen sooner than later. Like that's happening. And that's an important step. That's an important step for them, which is great. Okay. And I feel a sense of victory underneath the whole situation. Like, I'm picking up on a really, like, royal, regal, like, really, like, kind of fairy tale kind of thing. Like, you know, this is like, you know, we have like the Knight, right? Which is, you know, I realize that this is part of the tarot, but these are the feelings that are coming up. This is what is coming through. This is what's coming through in this situation, right? And it's also just the way that these are drawn to in this particular deck, you know. It's very earthy, very like, you know, it's got this medieval fairy tale, high fantasy kind of thing going on, right? We have freaking fairies up in here, you know. Right? And to top it all off, underneath those is the it's like King Arthur or whatever, you know, I don't know. King of Swords. I'd like to know more about that. I'd like to know more about the King of Swords. I just feel victory just came out really strongly. Victory. That's really funny because, oh my god, I forgot to take that card, but I should have totally taken that card. The first shuffle that I had that came out was the Queen of Swords. That's like super duper funny. Or no, it was the King of Swords, my bad. Like when I first shuffled, again, the King of Swords came out. Okay, okay, what's this? Okay, what's the victory about that I was hearing? Okay, that's plenty. Plenty of cards, Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's get into this real quick and then we will close. It's been a pretty long video. I feel like whoever this is has an inkling towards one or both. Okay, I heard both. Have an inkling towards this kind of fairy tale or like mystical realm or like, you know, like fantasy, like landscapes and, you know, worlds. And has this very creative. One of them actually might be a visual artist as well. I'm feeling like the feminine is a visual artist. But I feel there's a sense of like, yeah, very intuitive and like just doesn't know it. And that might be for both. I'm actually picking up on one of them actually does that kind of work actually, potentially, or does something like that, or music. Okay. And it's very, wow, it's really beautiful. Like there's like this co-creating without having any knowledge of it, like, right? Like there's this co-creating of everything from their meeting, you know. I'm feeling like this has been arranged. I feel like this has been arranged. Like it really feels like divine arrangement or whatever. And it's like, that is like what you believe is fantasy for yourself or not possible, not real, whatever, is what's happening, you know, actually, in reality, like, you know what I mean? And that's so beautiful. It's like, I feel like there's a lot of doubts for somebody here in the situation that's like, oh, I could never have that. Like, that's not real. That's just in movies and in books and in fantasy, you know. Real connection, real lifelong partnership, you know, this and that, like seeing everything around them, you know. Yeah, kind of like hinting to that, you know, that is just fantasy, you know, nobody's really stays together forever or this or that, or soulmates or whatever isn't, you know, isn't real. And it's really interesting, like what's coming through is like 10 of Pentacles, you know, was one of the cards that came out. It literally just fell out, like, you know, legacy and family, you know, and loyalty. And then the sun, you know, which is interesting because I just saw the moon card as I pulled this up for you guys, and the star card. Like I saw all of those three, like the moon and the stars and the sun, like all of the planets, like all of the universe, the cosmos, you know, perfect alignment, perfect harmony, you know, coming together perfectly. Yeah. Really interesting. I feel like there's growth. Really interesting. Okay, so I'm feeling that there's... I remember when we pulled this card earlier? Okay. Knight of Pentacles. What I was sharing earlier, what was coming through about with this person, was that there was this real beautiful offering, the generosity bit that, you know, that came out. Really having something valuable to offer, whether that's monetary or otherwise. And I'm feeling like once that's set in motion, okay, like once that really starts to go, right? Because he stopped right here, you know, he's like, he's not on his way quite yet. Like, you know, he has everything ready, everything's packed, everything's good to go. So once that train gets moving, right? Once that horse gets moving, you know, you're going to be as happy as a baby on a unicorn, or, you know, whatever. I think that's just a regular horse, but like, you know what I mean? Like just having absolutely no idea of the blessings that are coming in. And not just in like romantic relationship, right? Like in many ways. And I think that while this definitely just turned into a, you know, some kind of soulmate reading, like, I think there's also very similar messages for people that are going to be connecting with, you know, groups and yeah, really like friends that feel like you've known them forever. You just met them, like, you know, a lot of those really beautiful connections, and like this co-creating of that, and this, you know, kind of cosmic conspiracy of, you know, in the best possible way, you know, of those unions, right? And connections. Just wait and see. That's what I heard. Just wait and see. Yeah, there's nothing else to really say. Yeah, and so if that resonates, that's beautiful. I'm really happy about that. Yeah, and that's really definitely, I'm getting a lot from this personally, and maybe that's something I'll share about in another episode or something, because I've had some really crazy experiences with this kind of thing, especially in the past year. So I'll have to share some of that with you guys at some point. We're just gonna pull like one. I just want one. Okay. Yep, that's exactly what it is. See your seeds grow. Recognize what you've been cultivating and planting, okay? Really recognize that, you know, recognize that. Okay, get out of the head. Meditate, go sit. Let me know if you want to join our meditation group. And you can feel free to email me or leave a comment or whatever. If you want to connect or do anything, any other kind of like private readings or healing work or anything like that, like remote healing, stuff like that. But yeah, that's beautiful. that's really great. And then, you know, and then the sun is like right on the bottom of the deck again. So don't fret, don't fret. Everything is working out just fine. What I feel. Yeah. And oh, just for those tuning in for this video who haven't been following the rest, I had a lot of stuff, really good stuff come through last month, and not just the end of the month readings, but also the very first 4 that I did, one for each sign. I do one for each sign at the beginning of the month as a forecast, and then one for each sign group, at the end of the month, for like a review leading into the next month. And yeah, a lot of good stuff came through with, you know, a lot of the social justice movements and, you know, Black Lives Matter movement that are happening right now. A lot of really, really good stuff came out for that. So if you're interested in checking that out and, you know, having like listening and receiving channeled messages about advice and support for you know, what we can do and things like that, please go check that out. It was, all of last month was really potent. And yeah, so yeah, thank you guys so much again. And yeah, don't worry, everything's cool. Reach out if you need anything. And yeah, may you have a really, really blessed month. And I will tune in with you guys real soon.